It's 11 o'clock. Time to start the show. I am Bruce Valanche. This is Comedians Writing Jokes at Starbucks. Very excited today. My guest is going to be Captain Frank Mundus. He was the inspiration for the character Quint in Jaws. He's a local. He's from Montauk. It's about 11 o'clock here in Selden, New York, and I would imagine he's just rolling back in from fishing. People get up and fish really early. I went fishing a couple of years ago with a friend of mine. Actually, you can see. I made a little movie about it. It's called My Old Man and the Sea. My Old Man and the Sea. It's on my website, robcioffi.com. You can go look at it if you'd like to, if you care to. I have no viewers right now, according to Ustream, and that's okay. I don't really care. I just want to meet Captain Mundus, and I guess he's running a little late. I had this problem yesterday, and some of you may have watched and saw that I had scheduled a very famous Hollywood actress, Isabella Rossellini, the beautiful Isabella Rossellini, who had car problems and could not come. We're rescheduling, and we're going to work that out. My people are working with her people, and we're trying to figure that out. Hopefully we'll come to some resolution quickly and have her on the show. I know a lot of people were disappointed. Me too. But she'll come. We'll get her. She only lives 4 miles away. She's coming. Don't you worry. But today, Frank Mundus. I guess I wanted to talk a couple. I mentioned this yesterday, and I guess since I need to fill some time, I really hate podcasts. I hate them. I rarely listen to podcasts. Everyone's got one, which is great. They figured out how to use things like Ustream and iTunes and Garage Band or whatever you Apple people use, and you make your little podcast. That's great. And I guess the only thing I hate more than podcasts are improv shows. I hate them. With the games, yes, and we got to sit through that. Give me a place. Not here. How about that? That would be my first answer. Not here, because I don't want to be. I hate podcasts. I just hate them. I mean, I listen. Actually, the reason I think I hate them so much is everyone can do one, and not everyone is good at it. It takes a very special person to engage somebody for quite a while and get them, for a half an hour or 45 minutes, 2 hours. Some of these things run 2 hours, 3 hours. I know Mark Maron, the comedian. I don't know how long. I've never listened to his show, so I'm offended by the title. WTF, he calls it, and I feel that anybody who has to sink to that level, to use the W, T, and the F letter. If you've got to use the F letter in your name, I'm sure it's great. Lots of people listen to it. Joe Rogan, every once in a while, because he'll have controversial things. He had Neil Brennan on and talked about the Chappelle show, and I listened to that. That was good. But he's into the drugs, Joe Rogan. The DMT. He likes to make up a batch of that, I think. I don't know. I have no idea. I think he kind of is positive towards it. But I hate podcasts, so I'm sorry for putting you through this. My 2 viewers right now. Hi. Whoever you might be. I don't know where you're watching. If you're watching on my website, you have no real way to chat with me. If you're watching on Ustream, there is a chat thingy to put in there. Saying. Same thing with improv. Improv done well is amazing. Isaacs and Baker, good example of really good improv. You want to go see an improv show? Go see Isaacs and Baker. But, otherwise, you'd be more entertained at an open mic than some bar in the city that people pay $5 to tell their jokes at. Much more entertained, really. My opinion. It's my show, so it's my opinion. Yeah. Speaking of which, since Captain Mundus isn't here yet, I am going... last night, in the middle of the night, I said, I really should look up some topics to talk about, and lately I've been using... My main source of news is the apps. I use the apps. I use the Flipboard app on my phone, and I use News 360. I like that one because it gives me a lot of news, and boom, just keep flipping through. But yesterday, in the middle of the night, around 2 o'clock, I accidentally clicked on the News 12, the local News 12, Long Island News 12 app, which I never do. And I saw something that disturbed me. And I'm gonna be serious for a moment. This really disturbs me, and I'm trying to analyze why it disturbs me so much. But they're running today on News 12 a documentary about something called IamNotAnonymous.org, which, from the little I've gathered from their website, and I haven't spent a lot of time there, is... and I'm being serious, I'm not making a joke, is a website that encourages people who are in recovery from drug addiction and alcoholism to identify themselves publicly as such, as being in recovery, in order, and I could be wrong about what they do, in order to educate. I have a little gas today again. Excuse me. In order to educate the public, okay? Educate the public about recovery, because there's a big stigma when someone's in recovery. And I have problems with that. I do. I have problems with that. Where would I start? Well, I don't know. I'll tell you, why would I even be able to speak about this? Right? What would I know about heroin addiction, or
who's your guest today?
It's Captain Frank Mundus.
Where is he?
He's not here. You know who he is?
No.
He's the inspiration for Quint in the movie Jaws. He is out in Montauk.
Oh, yeah.
He fishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he coming?
I think he was out early this morning, and they get in. Fishermen get in around this time. Right? Around 11 o'clock. They go out before dawn. And then he's probably on his way. I'm waiting. Captain Mundus is coming.
It was raining. It might have been choppy weather.
It might have been tough. And he might have reeled in a big one. They're out there, the big ones. Anyway, I'm talking about this website. I don't know, you watch the News 12, Bob?
I do.
Yeah, they're doing featuring a documentary about an organization called IamNotAnonymous.org, which is about recovering people. And I was just telling the folks here, why would I be able to talk anything about that? Why should I even have an opinion about that? Well, I'll tell you, I used to work in a treatment center. I worked in a treatment center for several years back in the 90s. It'll go unnamed. I don't want to call it for this purpose. We'll call it SeaWorld. There's a place called SeaWorld out in the Hamptons that I worked for. I worked as a support staff person, and I also was a counselor. People would come to me, and I would help them, give them some guidance as far as their recovery from drugs and alcohol. And I was saying, last night I looked at this site, and it's really, I encourage you to go look at it. IamNotAnonymous.org. You'll be seeing it all day on News 12 today. It is contrary pretty much to everything that I know about recovery. And I'm an old guy. I might be wrong completely about this. And Bob's not going to know. Bob,
I don't.
You probably work. You got phone calls to make, right? You make some phone calls.
I never overdosed on anything.
He never overdosed on a thing.
Oh, except the Slurpee ones.
He had 2 in a row. By the way, we are sponsored by 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven, home of the double gulp. Never leave home without a double gulp. I don't. But don't overdo it on Slurpees, because we know Bob's going to tell us the story later about the. It really is like a lost weekend. He had a lost weekend for a Slurpee. So I'm going to get angry, Bob. I'm going to get angry for a second. I'm getting angry because this is what the people want. They want controversy. Okay, so this apparently this website is strictly for that, to help overcome the stigma of being in recovery. Now, let me say a couple of things. Now, again, you know, I can speak to this because I've seen literally thousands of people go through recovery. And I think there's a statistic going around on the internet, and I think it holds true from my experience. Only 5% of people ever recover fully from addictions like drug addiction and alcoholism. So I don't fool around. It's not something. It's very serious to me. But most people know, and I know this as a counselor, part of my treatment plan was I would send you, in addition to billing you, I would send you to self-help. We called it self-help meetings, which were 12-step meetings, which is, or Alcoholics Anonymous if you had an alcohol problem, or Narcotics Anonymous if you had a narcotics problem. And, in that name, in the name of the group, Anonymous, it always bothered me. Why do you need to be anonymous? Well, I'll tell you. Here's my opinion. It's worth 2 cents, okay? There's nothing shameful about being in recovery if you have a drinking or a drug problem. What's shameful, and the reason these people remain anonymous, and I still believe it's a good idea to keep it personal and not be blowing it all over the world, is because the things you do when you're active in your addiction, okay, they're pretty bad. Bad! You don't want people to know. You're not going to be advertising that this is what I did. And the ironic thing is, what happens in these anonymous meetings is people get together and they commune and they support each other, but they also share these horrible things that they did so they don't feel ashamed. Okay? People in the real world are not going to care. This is the thing. I know this woman and the man who started this. God bless you. I am hoping every one of you stays sober every day of the rest of your lives. You have peaceful joy and you find it all, the happiness that you can have without drugs and alcohol. Because I've seen it. People, many people. Bob, I'll bet you even I know some comedians that you know, and I won't say who they are because they generally don't go blowing their horns, but they have been very successful in comedy, and they have been also recovering alcoholics and drug addicts. Very, 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 very successful. And if you're a comedian and you got a problem, go talk to one of them and ask them if they think it's a good idea that you should be, doing this. I don't know. It could be. Maybe if it's working for you, that's the bottom line. Any joke book I've ever read that gives you the formula to write jokes, always starts out with, if you can write a joke without using this formula, do it, because it's so hard. If it works for you, good. It always starts that way. And then they give you some formula. You're in one of those books.
Do they steal the formula from other?
They tend. It tends to be all the same formula, so nobody really knows. That's the issue. So if it's working for you, if you are staying sober, and free from drugs and alcohol, and it's working for you by doing this, I am not anonymous, and having a T-shirt that says, I am not anonymous, that's more power to you. I am not dissing you, okay? What I'm doing is I'm talking about something that I know something about. Okay, and the anonymous part, I don't want to give you a long history of, I'm already 15 minutes into the show and I'm talking about this. The anonymous part is based in the times, okay? And a lot of drug addicts, people who use heroin and things, and I know heroin's a very, very, a lot of people are worried about heroin, Bob. It's a big thing now, and it's a big thing. It's a big thing, and I know that heroin comes in cycles. Heroin use, usually like in the 60s there was a cycle, and then there was the Black Crowes cycle in the 90s, and now we're back here again in the 2010s. And usually a lot of people think it's great because it's a great. I'll tell you, here's the thing about stigma. I was saying, the stigma is the things you do. You know why would people do drugs, Bob?
Why?
You know why? Because it makes you feel good. Drugs make you feel good initially. Amazing.
How much is heroin?
Amazing. I don't know. They give it funny names though. We can. Hey, they give it street names like Tango and Cash. God forbid they would give it like Jiffy Jeff. Here, give me some Jiffy
on the
Jeff.
bags, they have like names like
little names.
Dealer's name like Dragon.
Dragon, right? Dragon. In the movies, they always have something cool.
Blue Silk is good. I've tried that.
Oh, Silk. I'm talking about tofu, buddy. We're talking about heroin. So people will say, all right, AA it was started in 1935. Why would I go there? What would those guys know? They have no idea what it was like to be addicted to heroin. They were alcoholics. But you have to realize what an alcoholic was in 1935. That was during Prohibition, or they came out of Prohibition. They drank during Prohibition, so that's the kind of alcoholics they were. You know what your drug of choice was in Prohibition? Gasoline. That's what you drank, okay? Seriously, go watch this movie, The Master. Yaquim?
When was this? When?
In the 1935
So it was all
start.
leaded. It wasn't unleaded.
All leaded on top of it. Look. This is how these guys would go up to the gas station. One for you, one for me. That's what they would do. I'm not kidding you. They would get blind drunk for weeks, not remember anything. Okay? And the guy that started AA was trying his best. He was trying his best. And you know what he did?
Got the term, I'm going to get tanked?
I'm going to get tanked.
Full tank?
That's right. This guy is always on. It's amazing.
Full tank.
I gotta get serious for a second. And then I'm gonna get off this
Back then
topic.
it was like 20 cents.
It was less. It was probably a nickel.
Really?
You get wasted for a nickel. What was I saying? So this man who started AA found out two things that helped him. Okay, one is he needed to help someone else try to stay sober. He got sober for a couple of days and realized if I help someone else get sober or try to stay sober, it helped me stay sober. I found the hard way that this doesn't work in other areas of life, by the way. Try to help somebody be funny, doesn't help me. Makes them look funny.
Yeah.
Does it help me? No. And the other thing was he had a spiritual experience. God talked to him. God. G-O-D. And a lot of people don't like that today. In today's world, we don't want to bring God into anything. Okay? But look,
Especially not here in Starbucks.
Especially not in Starbucks. We may get this. My rule is if there are more than 30. Don't even. So could I say it? You know how the Jewish people, when they write it, they put they don't say G-O-D. They put G hyphen D.
Yeah.
So they don't, because they could. That's why if I could I good. They can't bring good in to this, but you need them. This is my experience. I've watched literally thousands of people go through all kinds of recovery. You need that. And the reason they're anonymous is, again, at that time, the guy who wrote it, he was wacky. He was a little wacky, and he thought that he would be inundated by people who needed help. And that's why they remained anonymous. They didn't want everyone going to this guy. His name was Bill. He's dead now, so you're allowed to say his name. Bill Wilson. He was afraid he'd write this book, and then people would just be showing up at his door. Help me, like it's Fight Club. Help me. I want to join.
And they would beat him up. They would beat him up. Why would he do that?
No. Like Fight Club. In the movie Fight Club, they all want to be in Fight Club, but they go to Dirk Diggler. I don't know who's in Fight Club. And this is what he did. That's why it was anonymous. And then they learned through experience that, you know, people have drug addict. They have kind of ego problems. Most of them, or many of them, they do. And this is not, you know, let's not put the light on how great I am in recovery, because what happens is I'm in recovery. Then 3 weeks later, you know, you're getting a DWI. Like, what's her name? Oh, the pretty girl that just got arrested.
Oh, Sarah Silverman.
No, did she get arrested? No. The young girl that had all the mental problems and her parents took over for her. Not Brittany. Anyway.
Oh yeah, the redhead.
The redhead, lovely little. I mean, she's beautiful and she's got problems. But then, you know, then the reputation is, oh, look at this guy. So this website, I mean, it's a beautiful website. Look at these, Bob. Look at these they photograph everybody.
Wow. Oh yeah.
These are all recovering people, and God bless them. I hope they all get better. But to me, this is like the world's greatest mugshots.
I am not anonymous.
I am not anonymous. Well, they all have their stories here, but that's what this is. It's the world's greatest mugshots, because, you know, sooner or later, if most people, I don't want you to relapse.
So
I do not want you to relapse.
If you're going to hire somebody, you want to check and see if they're on there first.
No.
There's a possibility they could...
Well, you know, it's not like... No, the whole idea is that if you're going to hire somebody, Bob, and they've had a history of drug and alcohol problems, how dare you even consider not hiring?
Not hiring?
Right. Not hiring. Let's say you own an airline.
Yeah.
And you need pilots.
Really?
Yeah, you cannot discriminate against somebody because they have had... I don't know if that's what they're doing. I don't know.
That's weird.
I know. I don't know. I mean, I understand their intention because when you're an active drug addict and alcoholic, everyone hates you. Everyone. Because you're ruining lives. You're ruining your life. You're ruining your family's lives. You're ruining the people you work with. You're showing up. You're not showing up. There's all kinds of reasons, okay? Anonymity to me is a good thing. Anonymous. The anonymous thing is good. Because I know, believe me, I worked for that period of time at SeaWorld, and I would see people who were famous. I worked with people who were on television, radio, in politics, and the anonymous thing makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of what?
A lot of sense to be anonymous. So now, what am I beating a dead horse here? I don't know. This is 20 minutes now.
Frank.
We've got 4 minutes. Yeah, Frank's gone. No, we've got 4 people, and that's enough. So now we're going to talk about the funny. We're going to do the funny, because that should start enough. What I just did there was just enough controversy for everybody. I wonder if I'm getting texted. Nobody cares. 4 people. The other thing that happened, I'm gonna take these off.
You hear yourself with them on?
No, it's just for show. It makes me look like I'm professional.
You can't hear anything?
Nothing, no. I was listening to music, but I turned it off because I can't talk and listen to music at the same time.
Listening to the director?
It's a little like that. It's the director, but he's...
I don't like an earpiece on television.
I don't need earphones with that. The director tells me. He tells me what to do. He
Like
tells
Juan
me.
Williams is asking me questions.
I like Juan. He used to be a lefty, and now he's a righty.
No, he's not. He's still a lefty.
Well, he's on a righty show.
Switch hitter?
Yeah, but it's like Combs. I mean, how lefty was really... Combs is the bit. He's like the Combs is not that lefty, really. Although he is. You know, I'm as.
I think
Have you seen? Is he on your news feed? Is he on your feed? Oh my goodness, the things he puts on Facebook. Oi! Somebody called you.
Yeah.
You better take it. We're up to 6, Bob.
Yeah,
Right?
I posted on Facebook.
Did you see the episode yesterday, Bob, that I put online?
I saw part of it.
Did you see what I titled it? Bob Nelson is a draw. Because we got 8.
We got up to 8. We're looking for double digits.
We're gonna see. I think it could happen. And he's actually doing. We need to hire an intern.
Trying to put on Twitter too.
We need to hire an
I have
intern.
like 14 Twitter followers.
That's it. That's hard to believe. I would think 400. That's pretty big.
I could get more.
Speaking of Sarah Silverman, did you know that Sarah Silverman once wrote for Saturday Night Live? 20 years ago. Yeah. And
Let's not talk about her.
yeah. I was going to not say good things about it, but
Okay, go ahead.
No.
I would like to hear them. I'm sorry.
Hey, look,
not
you know what?
watching.
You got to pick your battles, Bob. She's
should I not say?
she's going to be hosting Saturday Night Live.
Oh, good.
She could crush it. For me, she just waves her hand and I'm dust. You should have a little more trouble. But, not going to do that. I will point this out. My friend on Facebook said that he caught somebody, a comic from another state, doing his jokes. Not his jokes. His posts on Facebook on stage. Just things
So he
he
was
posted.
posting funny stuff on the Facebook.
And the guy put it in his act.
Well, what does he think? Facebook is a big joke.
It's a
big joke book.
big joke book.
Everybody shares. That's why they have a share button.
Right.
So
right.
if he puts something on there, he wants them to share it, so they share it. They just take
That's right, but sharing it for money is a different story, don't you think? If you're assuming the comic goes on stage and tells his jokes, or says the posts, which are funny posts,
Yeah.
but sells them as his jokes.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's not cool. We're not cool with that. We're definitely not cool with that. So he said he didn't say who it was or what state, but if he gave me the state, I could pretty much guess who it is. Right? You can narrow it down. And he's a Long Island comic, so in Long Island comedy...
That's who stole it, the Long Island comic?
No, the Long Island comic got stolen from. There's two... And when you're in Long Island comedy, there are only 2 states, New York and New Jersey. Everyone knows that. Occasionally, Connecticut, you'll go up there. But where else are you going to go? Not you.
Connecticut's really northern Jersey.
Is it? I don't think even people think about it. It's just up there. I never think. Do you ever think about Connecticut?
I
Unless
don't,
you have to go?
when I go over the when I go into over the Throgs Neck,
Yes.
I think I'm still in New York, and then I think the next state is Massachusetts.
Yes. Yes.
I forget I have to drive through Connecticut.
Connecticut's like a wealthy suburb of New York. Very wealthy. Lots of money up in Connecticut. The richest place in the world is in Connecticut, apparently.
Really?
Katharine Hepburn lived there. Letterman lives up there. A lot of people with money live up there.
Yeah, the dressing guy lives up there.
Dressing who?
The dressing. The guy with the dressing. Paul Failure? No, Paul...
I don't watch things like that. What are you talking about?
Paul...
This is a closed thing? Remember the queer eye for the straight guy?
New guy.
Paul Newman. Oh, the dressing. Yes. We should get him on the show. Oh, wait.
He's in Connecticut.
Wait a second. I got to see if I got a text here. Let's see. I think it's Captain Mundus. Captain Mundus. It's Captain Mundus.
Who's that?
He's our guest.
Oh.
Captain
I thought you said it was Frank.
Captain.
Oh,
Captain.
Okay.
Captain, my captain.
Okay. So
He's
calling in?
No, he's texting right now. He's texting. Say, hey Rob, I've been dead since 2008.
How did he do that? Is that an app?
Yeah.
It's a dead man's app.
The messaging. He's messaging me from the afterworld. Apparently, he's been dead since 2008. So
who booked him?
I
call that
that's
booker.
my booker is. It's been interesting. Should we talk about how I book my guests? I pretty much. This is how I book my guests. I want them to be famous because I want you guys to be entertained and interested. So what I do is the proximity to where I am, I try to find famous people who live or work around here, and then I basically just put it up and say they're coming, and hope they hear, and then have them come. So Frank, I would assume Frank, because he's dead, didn't hear it. Isabella was a different story. Her car broke down.
Yeah.
She was coming.
Oh, look, Anthony.
He said something?
Yeah, a couple of things.
New Jersey equals New York light. I don't know, although in The Sopranos, you ever watch The Sopranos, Bob?
Yeah.
The Sopranos, they always deferred to New York. We got to think about what New York
They
did.
said I should host SNL.
Bob should host Saturday Night Live. No, SNL. That's Saturday Night Live. 40 years of Saturday Night Live.
This explains Hollywood. Amanda Burns.
Amanda Bynes. Amanda Burns, yes.
She burns.
Poor girl.
Crashing and burning.
Lovely girl. Beautiful
Amanda
girl.
Crash and burn.
Good comic timing. She was on the Nickelodeon and spun that out into something good. And apparently she's got some problems, maybe in addition to alcohol.
She was on Nickelodeon?
Sure.
And then Brittany was on...
Nickelodeon. Oh, no, Disney.
Who else? The other one was on Disneyland, too.
All of them. It turns out... I
should
think
get rid of Disneyland.
I think what they do is they want to... They become very successful as children, and once they mature out of it and that market doesn't exist anymore for them, they immediately go and want to get their image changed. So they go the other way, and they're with the sex and the drugs, so the adults will know they're adult now and they can like them, which is ridiculous.
It's like you just headed for recovery that way.
And ultimately, that's the career path. That's right. That is. Look, a good example. Robert Downey Jr. He's the most well-paid actor in all of Hollywood. He had a problem with drugs. He would sit in the motel and smoke crack. Yeah, for days, and then they'd arrest him, and then he'd go back and do it again. But now he's Iron Man. But he's good.
Who goes from Charlie Chaplin to Iron Man? That's what I want.
He was really good in that.
How do you do that?
He was really good in that. I mean, a lot of people thought he was too young and didn't really look like Chaplin. But, I mean, for what he did, it was great. Oh, man. So back to you on Saturday Night Live. You'd have to stay up pretty late to do that.
Really?
I think it goes to 1 o'clock.
I'm up that time anyway. That's why I get here at 11.
But you're going to perform? I mean, that's late. Usually, you perform like what, from 9 to 11.
I was on Saturday Night Live and I got edited out.
Wait.
You not a cast member, but
you were on Saturday Night Live in the edit. Now, how could they edit you out? It's live.
I was on. They do two shows. They do the pre-show, which is like a rehearsal.
Yeah.
So it's not really live. It's rehearsed. Because they do a show before, and then
they do a dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal live, but I think they film it. And then they do a live show. But what happened was the Robert Culp. He was like Robert Culp.
Yeah, I know. He from
he was the host. Is he dead?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, he did.
I confuse him and Robert Vaughn. Robert Vaughn, I think, is still alive.
Anyway, Robert Culp.
He was from I Spy.
They did a submarine segment that ran too long. So in the rehearsal, so then they cut my part out. But it was really good because I did the duck piece with the gun. And I followed. I was on right after Charlie Daniels, the guy with the fiddle.
Oh, I loved him.
Yeah, so
the Devil Went Down to Georgia guy.
He sang a song, and then I did the morning thing, which was perfect because it was like a country thing, kind of like.
You did it as sort of like as a stand-up. Just wow.
I did the duck piece.
Yeah, they were doing that for a couple of years, weren't they?
Yeah, Eddie was Eddie is who got me on.
Oh, Eddie got you on.
I think he got me on, and then he got me off the same night.
What were you in the sub? I would love to see you in a submarine. What were you as the submarine?
No, I wasn't in the submarine.
Oh, you weren't in the submarine because that would have been. Oh, they put the submarine on instead of you.
That was the sketch, and it had no ending. Did you notice that a lot of the Saturday Night Live bits have no ending?
I'm not good at endings myself, but I'll tell you.
That's how you're supposed to write jokes.
You start from the ending.
Yes, you have the joke and then you work your way to it.
Yes.
And every night you throw in
a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more. You throw in, you try to lead up to it. You take longer to lead up to it, and if it's not working, you get right to the joke.
Yeah.
But then you improv on your way there, and then the thing stretches. That's why my Jiffy Jeff routine could be like 30 minutes long.
You could do 30 minutes of Jiffy? Really?
No, well, not 30. Maybe at least.
I never heard the sparring thing before.
I know. I have a lot of.
Yeah. Well, you've been doing this for a long, long time, and a couple of other comics I've worked with.
I don't write new stuff. I just expand on the old.
Right. That's okay. That's what I'm doing. I mean, I actually took my act and I stretched it out from 11 to 11 and a half minutes this week. I got to test it.
Like when I do Jiffy Jeff back when I started, they would say, "Oh, that's Jiffy Jeff," and then they would say, "That is great," and then now they say, "When is this going to get to stop talking?"
Oh, really?
Because they talk.
Yeah.
Because the bit's too long. We want to see Bob.
A lot of these days are here. I'm looking at our number one fan. Oh, we got 8 viewers, Bob. 8 viewers. We only need 2 more. We got 24 minutes to get to break double digits. Tell your friends, people.
Too long too.
A lot of
Hey,
these.
Anthony, are you working? Are you at work right now, or are you at home?
Yeah, are you at work? If you're at work,
Anthony's our number one fan.
so if you're at work,
If you will.
maybe you can get a couple. Maybe you get a couple of people at work to log on, because that'll put us out. That'll put us at 10. We should make this like it's a Labor Day telethon for viewers.
Anthony could be our Mrs. Miller. From the, remember the...
from Merv Griffin?
Merv Griffin?
Yeah.
Boy, am I dating myself. It's a whore.
This is the kids on I Am Not Anonymous. Merv Griffin was a talk show host who was 2 things you didn't really know about him when he was a talk show host was he was, I think he was gay.
A lot of people don't realize this, but he's still on TV and he's still working.
Even though he's dead.
Yep. It's Rosie O'Donnell. That's who Merv.
Oh, is he on? They shut us off for a minute. We're still on record. Okay, folks, we were gone for a minute. I'm sorry about that. It's not my bad. We don't have an engineer here. I am the engineer, as well as Bob is the guy who handles the phone. He's the screener.
Oh, I'm getting. The director told it was a solar flare.
It was.
Knocked us off the air.
That's a good one.
It wasn't even from the sun. It was from a star.
That's a good one. You know what I was listening?
Red Nebula.
I was listening to. You know the guy on the Fox Morning News show, not the blonde guy, the dark-haired
He's
guy.
on Long Island. He lives on Long Island.
He's got a show on Long Island on the radio in the mornings, and he was interviewing George W. Bush. George W. Bush. And George W. Bush was saying how during his presidency he never criticized Bill Clinton. And although I'm surprised by that because there were a lot of things to criticize about Bill Clinton, but he never blamed Bill Clinton for things that were going on with him. He could have. There were probably a lot of things that, maybe just the fact that he had to dry clean and come in with the people that, when your boiler explodes and the people that come to clean up, he must have had those people come into the White House after Bill because it was...
Yeah.
But he never complained.
Who's from Arkansas? Of course it's going to be white trash in the White House. I should've
Well,
said
come
that.
on, that's not fair
That's not
because
nice.
we love the people in Arkansas.
But Billy was there. His drunk
Brother.
brother.
That was Carter. He had another
My
brother.
president's mixed up.
You got them mixed up. And to be fair, Clinton never blamed Bush the father. I used to know this Iranian guy during all the 9/11 stuff. I knew a guy from Iraq who worked here as an IT guy. He would always call him Bush the father and Bush the son. Bush the father. Bush the father should have gotten Saddam. And now Bush the son will finish the job. He went to Iraq and made $1 billion, this guy, because that was what was going on in Iraq. So anyway, I'm listening to George Bush, and you know what? I would like to spend time with George Bush. I think he's pretty cool. And he was and this moderator guy that you said lives on Long Island, who's on Fox, he says, well, aren't you upset that the current president seems to blame you for everything?
What did he say?
He said, I don't listen to the noise. I'm content with who I am.
He's rich.
And he's rich. As he owns a baseball. He used to. He owns a baseball team. And he makes paintings. You see George Bush's paintings?
Really?
Amazing. He can take a clean sheet of canvas and some acrylic paint and make it look like it's a paint-by-numbers painting. It's an art. It's like a talent that most people don't have. He actually doesn't.
Paint by numbers.
He
without
doesn't
the numbers.
without the numbers. He doesn't start. It looks like a paint. He did one of him. It's very famous. A self-portrait of him in the shower. From the neck up, or from the shoulders up.
Why in the shower?
I don't know. It's like, is it a cry for help? Is it something that's saying, hey, I can't tell you, but they've got me. Help me. I'm in the shower. Save me. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. Right? You met a president. You met a couple. Did you meet any presidents other than Reagan, or have you ever met? My brother out east last year met Bill Clinton. There's no joke to this. He met Bill Clinton was walking around. My brother works as an electrician out in, and I can post this online because I'll post it somewhere. You can see it. My brother, Bill Clinton's out getting an ice cream cone or something, and he's walking around hugging people, mostly the girls. Hey, and they're taking selfies with him. And my brother stopped the truck and got out. He said, "Hey, it's Bill Clinton." And my brother addressed him as Mr. Clinton, which very respectful, but you call him Mr. President.
Right.
So it's kind of disrespectful. So my brother actually disrespected Bill Clinton. And Bill, you could see
He's my new hero.
My brother? In all seriousness, Bob, you know what?
Everything we say here is not true.
I'll tell you what. When people criticize George W. Bush, and they say, "Oh, he did some terrible things. He read the Goat Book for 12 minutes." They make all these things about him. You know what I'm talking about? The Goat Book. If you were alone in a room with that guy,
the Notebook,
the Goat Book, when during the attacks, he was reading the kids.
Oh.
And they said, "Why?"
Was it about goats?
It was about goats, about Billy Goats or something.
Is that why they attacked us?
Because they value their goats.
They like their goats. So he's reading a book about it.
I'm telling you. This guy is the perfect third chair. He is. Hey, look out. All those third, You've worked with all those guys. All right, so we're almost done, right? You done, Bob? Not quite.
No, we got to go to 12.
We got to go to 12.
Let's see what those guys said. Good for your brother. Good for your brother, see?
Oh, yeah, good for my brother. Thanks.
See?
Thanks. The fastest road to success in endeavors like this, and I'm talking about talk radio, TV, talk shows, things, go for the conservative base. Because those are the people who have money.
We're going to go after?
They're the ones that have money because they have jobs.
So we make fun of them?
No, we want them to respect us as having a voice for them.
What if we like Fair and Balanced? That's a good idea. Did you ever hear that? We could call the show Fair and Balanced.
I don't want to be fair and balanced. I want to be skewed completely to what I think. No, what I'm saying is, even if, and I'll say this much for Clinton and even the guy in there now, if I was in a room with him one-on-one, I'd probably be very impressed with these people. Right? I'd see through some of it. But on face of it, they'd be very impressive. So I'm not so quick to paint them with one color and say, this guy's a jerk.
My wife just texted me.
Okay, yeah.
She says, if you would only let Rob finish a story.
That's right. That's right. He's so lucky. He's so lucky. He's got that beautiful wife at home. This is why. Yeah, I know. It is. It is. And for those of you who don't know, I can't imagine there isn't anybody out there that doesn't know who Bob Nelson is, but go look up Bob Nelson. Go look him up, because on Google he's on the right half because he's 3% famous. The guy is done he's done everything. He's got stories. I've heard
Trish has
stories.
Trish should be a partner. We got to get her on.
I would love to have her on.
You know what we could do? Because she doesn't like. She's not.
She could be behind right there. We could hear her.
Just talking.
We could mic her.
Yes. She should be talking.
Admonishing you the whole time.
We could just see her shoulder or something. Wouldn't it be cool? No one ever sees. People would want to see her.
They upgraded me. The Ustream people upgraded me today, free for 30 days, and now I can have multiple cameras.
Really?
I'm in HD, and there's some other features that they have. It's okay.
Trish, are we cutting in and out?
We'll figure it out.
Text me.
They are delayed. I know that there's a delay. So, all right. So we'll probably be here tomorrow.
We should get Cablevision to
sponsor us.
Then we'll have a good feed.
Yeah, you know what? And I used to work for Cablevision, and believe me, it isn't like they're very not. They don't do special favors or nepotism, nothing like that going on over there. That wouldn't want us to give us the greatest feed ever. I'm gonna figure it out.
Trish said that she'll do it, but she has to be off the camera.
I think we're really shooting ourselves in the foot, because she's the eye candy.
I know, but
looking at us, people look at them.
But her voice is really beautiful too. So
she's got a lovely voice. Yes,
every once in a while we'll.
Can we give her a feature?
We'll let her.
Can we give her? We'll give her like a little 5-minute thing that she could do every show. That she could talk about something, recipes, or how you could improve your career.
She could tell you some good stories about me.
I'm sure she could.
I'm
sure she could.
I don't know if I want that stuff out there though.
That's the price you pay, Bob, for fame. All goes out there. You should write a book. Why don't you and Trish write a book? Like
she should write a book.
Like Darryl Strawberry. Did you see Darryl Strawberry wrote a book with his wife?
I heard about that.
They have a mission. They're pastors together, and they wrote a book about how to have. Because he was a mess. Talk about addiction. Darryl, do you ever meet Darryl Strawberry? Can you say you ever met Darryl Strawberry?
I never met him.
But he had the world and lost it all for cocaine and stuff. But he went halfway, met with the Lord, and now he's good. They wrote a book. And maybe you and Trish should write a book. That would be good. Make it how to deal with a comedian. How to have comedy in your marriage. How comedy saved your marriage, or almost ruined your marriage, or both. Both. I don't know. Is it too personal? I'm getting too personal.
The perils of comedy.
The perils of comedy.
The perils of laughing. Perils.
You could call it slipping on a banana peel down the aisle.
That's why you opened for me.
That's right.
That right there.
All right. Well, we're back on though. We were off. I don't know how I'm going to do. I had the same problem years ago when I did this before. And we're at the mercy not only of Optimum Online, we're at the mercy of Ustream. It's a lot of things, a lot of factors, but
we need mercy. Then.
We do. This is the end of the show. We're done. Hopefully this came out okay. Look, we're going to have more guests, and we're going to have interesting things to say.
Maybe I could get my wife to come tomorrow.
And I know there's probably at least 8 of you.
Work till 1.
Yeah,
so
11 to 12. She can, and she doesn't work far from here. She can get in the car and she
lives
go.
by me. She lives with me. By me.
That's. Did you notice my puzzled look for a second there? Yeah, I get it now. You know her. Yeah, she's great. She's great.
Thanks,
great
Anthony.
lady.
Frank.
Good point. We should thank people.
He wants to write it. Says, how about Fair and Unbalanced? That's a good name.
Fair and Unbalanced.
Rob and Bob's Morning Madness.
Fair and out of balance. Unbalanced. That's a good one. Fair and Unbalanced. I can't imagine someone hasn't done that.
Unfair and Unbalanced.
I like to think I'm fair. I'm not fair, but I like to think I am. I don't know.
Fairly fair.
I don't know. Okay, so we'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to come back tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow I will have a guest with me. We'll have Dan McCarthy, comedian Dan McCarthy, coming down from Connecticut, which is really just New York light, or New York or New Jersey light. He's coming down. He's driving down. So I will make an effort to come here tomorrow.
Well, that would be good if he got here and you weren't here.
I almost wasn't.
Again, he might see Elvis Costello and talk to him.
Almost wasn't here tomorrow because, and I'm going to put a plug in for my friend George Gallo. Those of you who are watching, George Gallo is in Washington, D.C. at the Comedy Zone, premiering his new multimedia show where he shows his videos and does his comedy. So if you're in the D.C. area, or if you're just curious, I have gas again, I'm sorry. Just curious, go to georgegallo.com and you'll love him. You'll love him. You'll love Bob Nelson. Go to bobnelson.com. Bob's going to be appearing on November 1st on Long Island. Should I be pushing that?
Yeah, sure.
Is that knowledge, common knowledge, public knowledge? Is that public?
Yeah.
He'll be at Governor's in Levittown on Saturday, November 1st. Go there. You're going to enjoy that show. Get tickets now because Bob's shows tend to sell out. So get them now, and make it an event, make it a thing, a date. Bring the wife. Okay, it's a good time for everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, Dan McCarthy,
Anthony Frank,
It's Stevie GB. Are you there, Stevie GB?
I think he was on there before.
Stevie GB, all of you. Thank you so much for being on the show. And tomorrow, and remember, today's the day we broke double digits. For about 30 seconds, we had 11 people. We're on our way. Thank you. All right, I'm going to should I do my sign off? I'll do my sign off.
Do your sign off.
See ya. See ya. See ya.